shoulders. I hope you're feeling amazing today, getting ready to work. It's another one of those perfect peach workouts today. So we're really working on those strong hips all the way around, lifting that seat, getting that nice toned glute area, the peach, and feeling nice and firm across our core, as always. It's Pilates, isn't it? We're gonna start on your mat, standing up actually. I want you to stand where you have space behind you, so it doesn't really matter your configuration on the mat, you just want some space behind you. So I'm just gonna stand up at one side facing towards the side, but you could face towards the screen. There's nothing in particular. We're just starting with your nice simple roll down. So you'll take a big inhale through the nose. On the exhale, start to nod your chin down towards your chest. I want you to actively reach your fingertips down towards your toes, pulling your belly button up towards your spine, and really feeling that bone by bone by bone sensation as you hang heavy at the bottom in your forward fold. So nice big stretch down the backs of the thighs. We'll work them quite a bit today along with that seat, and then you'll roll right on up. Keep that reach of the fingertips towards the toes. You'll notice that your core has to turn on, has to engage all the way up instead of just relaxing all the way up. Shoulders, neck, head are last. Same thing 2 more times. Exhale, roll it down. Belly button to spine. Engagement in your back here, so you want to turn on the muscles underneath your arms. Let that neck relax at the bottom. And then roll on up. One bone at a time, stacking on top of the other. Can you create more space between each bone as they stack on top of one another? And then stand up nice and tall. Last one. Rolling down. Like you're going up over a beach ball, so you don't want that belly button to tap that beach ball. And then come all the way up, restacking, creating more space in your torso, more length in your spine. Shoulders, neck, head are last. Just go ahead and shake your head no from here. So right to left, opening up the sides of the neck, keeping the shoulders down the back. We'll do 4 more of these. Don't go too fast where you lose your balance. And then once you're done with that last one, shaking it out, you'll look forward and bring your hands onto your hips. From here, this is why you needed space back behind you. Your right leg is going to step back. Both knees are going to bend, so your torso is sinking straight down for the ground, about a 90-degree bend in both knees. You don't have to bring the knee all the way down to the mat to tap. You're going to power through that front leg to stand nice and tall, feet back at parallel. We're alternating sides, so instead of just the right side, alternating sides. Step back, little lunge, come up, step back, little lunge, and come up. So working on your balance here. Driving through the hamstring, back of that front leg to come up nice and tall. Remember, your knee doesn't have to touch, but if you've got that range of motion, absolutely be my guest. Starting to get that heart rate warm, feeling that activity in your center, activity in the back half of your body. Breathing, don't forget. Next time that right toe's back, I want you to pause in this little lunge. From here, as you stand up, can you bring your right knee in front of your right hip, floating that leg up, and then step that right foot back. Little knee drive, exhale, lift. Step that right foot back, and exhale, lift. 3 more of these. 2 more, keep that spine long, keep it neutral. Last one. Step that right foot back. Little pulses down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find neutral, little marches. We're going to do that single side work on the left side. So you'll step that left foot back into your lunge. As you power up with that right leg, can you hover that left knee in front of your left hip? And then step on back. Here's your breath in, breath out, lift. Feel that heart rate. Breath in, lower, breath out, lift. Working on that balance. Working on that seat on the front side. Feeling that lift for 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Step it back, little pulses down. We're here for 10, 9, 8, catch that balance, find those inner thighs, for 4, 3, 2, pause, step it together, little marches, shake out the arms, shake out the head. Gorgeous. From here, I'm just going to turn to face towards you. You want space on both sides of you this time. So nice space on both sides. You're about in the center of your mat. You're going to turn the toes out here. Think like a Pilates V. Whew, out of breath after that one. Toes angled to that 10 and that 2. And then can you open those heels so that they're here wider than your hips. My arms are going to come like a nice big letter T. Reach, reach, reach. Feel the muscles in your back. From here, breathe in to bend both knees, squat down. Breathe out, squeeze the glutes as you lift. Breathe in to squat down and out to lift. Engage that core, engage that center. You don't have to go super far down on V's. Feel that lift driving through the heels on the way down. Now that you're turned out versus parallel in that first position, you're going to feel a little bit more of your glutes because the smaller part of your glutes, your glute med, is working here. We'll do 3 more of these. 2 more. Hold the down on the last one. From here, your hands are going to go behind your head, elbows bent out wide towards the side. From here, my right elbow is going to drop down towards my right knee. Stay in that squat. Lift back to center. Left elbow towards the left knee. Stay in that squat. Lift back to center and drop. Lift back to center and drop. Little side body crunch. Think about one side of the torso crunching as the other side opens up. Nice isometric hold in your squat. Legs are burning. Next time you're over to the right side, can you pause for me there? Little pulses. You're going to do 3, 2, 1. Reach your right hand towards your right heel. Come all the way up. Over to the left. Pulse for 3, 2, 1. Reach for that heel. Same thing on the other side, alternating sides. 3 pulses, and then 1 big reach. All the way over, 3 pulses, and 1 big reach. Try to stay deep in that squat. Reach, 1 more on each side. And reach. And reach. Straighten those legs. Heel toe those feet all the way in. Hands are going to come up onto your hips from here. Little bend in both knees. Shake out any tension. We're going to go into curtsies here next. Alternating side to side. You'll step that right foot back behind the left. I'm bending both knees out towards either side, either angle. I'll stand right back up to vertical and go ahead and switch sides. Left behind the right, stand it up. Right behind the left, stand it up. Alternating here. Thinking vertical and square with your torso as those legs move into the curtsy. So you don't want to dive forward with the curtsy. You're going to feel the side part of your thigh on that front standing supporting side doing the work. Last thing in our standing work here before we get to come down to the mat. Exhale to power up to lift, inner thighs core. Next time your right leg's back, you're going to hold that right leg back. Just like we did with our lunges, little pulses down. We're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold the down. Going right on over to the other side, power up, left foot crosses behind. Little pulses here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold the down, take a breath, stand up nice and tall, shake it all the way out. Let's make our way down to the mat. We're just gonna come lying down on your back from here. Make it to sitting first. Take a breath. Grab the backs of those thighs. And then we'll roll all the way down from here. Find those muscles in your core that we talked about during your roll down as you slowly make that way for the mat, shoulders, neck, and head come down. Find your firm pressure behind your arms. Both legs are going to float up into tabletop from here. Once our knees are at tabletop, your goal is going to be to keep your abdominals engaged here. So you're looking for that wrapping sensation across your core, across your center. Now, I talked about Pilates V a second ago. Keep that neck nice and long. You're going to open your toes, keep your heels glued together. Your knees are going to go about shoulder distance apart, and your feet are flexed here. So it's like you're in a little plie or a frog position. Knees open about shoulder distance apart, heels glued together, feet flexed in that gentle little V. From here, press down in the backs of the arms. We're going to point your toes as your legs go straight out, glue the inner thighs together, and then flex the feet as the knees come back towards the shoulders. Exhale as you froggy out. Inhale as you come back in. Pointing the toes, flexing the feet, totally optional. Work to keep those abdominals engaged while you're here. Think about the backs of your thighs wrapping towards one another. And you'll feel that squeeze along the peach every time you zip those backs of the thighs for one another. We're doing 3 more like this. Continue to breathe for me. 2 more. We're going to hold those legs out long on your last one. Engage more core. Can you lift your head, neck, and shoulders up so you're looking between those knees? Keep the head, neck, and shoulders up if you can as you froggy those legs and shoot them long. Froggy those legs and shoot them long. Zip the backs of those thighs together. If you're having trouble keeping the neck relaxed, shoulders down the back, fingertips reach, more belly button to spine. We're here for 4. Last 2. After this last one, go ahead and hug those knees in towards the chest. Drop your shoulders, neck, and head. Take a breath. From here, I'm going to have you create a little triangle shape with your hands. Point your fingers in towards one another, thumbs in towards one another. That triangle shape is going to go just underneath your seat, underneath your tailbone. It's going to help support the lowest part of your spine as your knees lift into tabletop. And as you try to pull the back of the belly button down, relaxing those shoulders down the back. Find that froggy position one more time, heels together, toes apart. Take a breath in. On the breath out, send both legs long, point those toes, pause for me. Your left leg is going to come back to frog as your right leg angles out towards the side. Think of V, a straddle. Both legs come straight together. Right leg frogs, left knee to the side, and then come back together. One knee's bent while the other one is straight. You're using the abdominals to balance those hips, balance that core. Notice how your hips want to rock over right to left. Keep both glutes pressing firmly into the hands below your tailbone. Keep your neck nice and long. Keep the activity in your core and your center. Always think about the backs of the thighs meeting each time you come from what we call this Peter Pan position. Alternating from one to the other. 2 more sets here, then we get to hug those knees in. Activate ribs and hips. Once you're done with these last 2, knees come in, hands come out. We give ourselves a big hug. From here, you're going to flex your feet and your heels are going to dig down into the mat right in front of those sits bones. So all that means is there's a little space between your feet and between your knees. Notice how my toes are flexed up towards the sky. That's going to help us engage the back body, especially those glutes and those muscles just underneath them that keep them lifted. even more. We're working on a bridge here. Spine stays long, spine stays neutral. Power in the backs of the arms. You're going to squeeze, exhale, hover those hips nice and high. And then inhale, start to drop the tailbone, nice and slow with control. And then right when it's about to tap, exhale, lift right back up. So move with your pace. Inhale as it drops down, exhale as it powers up. Try not to let the seat hit the mat, so you want to keep it floating this whole time. You're pulling those toes towards your knees, driving through the heels. On the way up, you should really feel that squeeze in the seat. You have to consciously turn it on, because the glutes are going to forget to activate, especially the more we sit, the more we drive, all kinds of things like that. So we really need to tell them we want them to turn on to work here. The backs of your thighs are also turning on, are working here. I'm sure you're tuning into that, feeling that. We're doing 3 more like this. On the last one, can you hold your hips nice and high? From here, I'm going to lift my arms straight up towards the ceiling. More backs of the thighs, more glutes. I'm sure you feel that change. And then lower them right back down. Breathe out as they lift. Breathe in as they lower. So you're working hard to squeeze, to activate the backs of the thighs, the inner thighs, the glutes as much as you can while you lift and lower those arms. Your core is on, it's active, it's protecting that low back. We never want to feel this in the low back. Try to keep that collarbone wide. We're going to do 3 of these. Last one, hold those arms up above your shoulders. Really anchor the back body. From here, can you hover that left leg up to tabletop? It's going to be super hard. And then set that heel down. Hover that right leg up to tabletop. And set that heel down. Your goal is to keep your weight even over your center, over your core. It is very challenging not to lean over to that opposite side. Keeping those feet flexed. Try not to let that hip sag on the tabletop side. Keeping it steady, keeping it level. Let's do 1 more on each side. Little taste of what's coming next. Both heels come down. Lower the tailbone all the way down. Drop the arms by your sides, drop the toes down to the mat, and take a breath. You might shake the head out no here, ear to mat, ear to mat. Relax tension in your neck. Arms are going to stay down for this next one. Just like we lifted your leg into tabletop, we're going to lift that left leg all the way straight up towards the sky with your toe pointed. This time I want you to try to button your belly button down to the mat underneath you, like an imprint spine that we talked about earlier with those Peter Pans. Really engage your center, reach that toe as high as you possibly can. It's going to keep reaching as we roll the spine up and away from the mat into your single leg bridge. Nice big hip extension at the top on that right side. All that work is in the back of the right thigh and the glute. You feel that lift. Little pulses here, up towards the ceiling, up towards the ceiling. Squeeze even more, back of that right thigh. We're here for 8, 7, more core, inner thigh on that right side, for 4, for 3, for 2, pause at the top. 1 more thing on this side. Left leg is going to drop down in line with the right thigh, and then kick up. Drop down in line with the right thigh and kick up. If you want to, flex on the way down, point on the way up. Flex on the way down, point on the way up. 6 more. Activate core, 2 level hips. 4. Slow with control. Last 2. Last 1. Pause, roll it all the way down. Set those left toes down and kick that right leg straight up towards the sky. Reach, reach, reach with those toes. 2 level hips, imprint the low back. Use your abdominals, use the glutes to roll up into your bridge. Keep those hips nice and steady. Feel the back of the thigh on that left side. Little pulses towards the ceiling. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze that glute. Squeeze that core. Reach those toes even higher. For 6, for 5, even deeper in that glute. Smaller is deeper. For 3, For 2, we're going for those leg kicks. Lower down, kick up. Lower down, kick up. You might flex on the way down, point on the way up. Keep the inner thigh turned on that left side, most important. 5 more. Last 2. Last 1. Pause. Roll it down. Hug those knees all the way in. Take a breath. Little circles with the knees. Release any tension. Reverse that circle. And then you're gonna roll right on over to your right side. Once you've rolled over onto your right side, I'm gonna have you prop yourself up onto your forearm here. So my right forearm is just down on the mat, parallel to the short edge of the mat. My tailbone is parallel to the back of the mat, long edge of the mat, and my knees are just bent right in front of my hips. Take a second here. It's very easy to sag into that shoulder. I want you to turn on your obliques so that you can lift that torso nice and long and find a nice long line from your hips to your ribs out the crown of your head. So you're feeling as long as you can in your torso, like we talked about in that roll down at the start of class. More space between your vertebra. And we'll get into some sideline work from here. You can put your top hand on your hip. We're gonna start with a developpe here. It's gonna feel unnatural at first. I promise you'll get the hang of it. Go ahead and open those knees so there's about a fist distance between them. Nice and long in that torso. You're gonna kick your front leg towards the screen, towards the front. Keep it straight as it sweeps back in line with your hip. And then bend that knee all the way back in. Unfold, sweep back, bend back in. Unfold, sweep back, bend back in. So it's kind of like a bicycle shape, but you're only using that single leg. You're using your hand on your hip to make sure that your hips and your low back aren't going all over the place. The more you're engaged in the core, the more you're going to be able to find that strength. You're looking to keep your leg at that hip height the whole time, and you want to pause with your leg just straight out from the hip, not behind the hip. We'll go back there in a little bit. So you're finding that work. Front of the peach, side of the peach, back of the peach, under the peach, all over. We're here for 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Stack those knees, connect those feet. You're gonna open the top knee even higher, close all the way down. Even higher, close all the way down. It's your clamshell here. Feel the work in the side of your seat to open that knee. You might not be able to open it very far, that's fine, but you're going to be able to feel that small muscle in your hip that's opening it up. So as long as you feel that small muscle, that little pinch, you're in the right spot. No need to worry. Keep that core on and active. Let's do 3. Let's do 2. Hold that knee open. Separate those feet. You're bringing your ankle in line with your knee. Flex your foot for me. You're gonna press a brick wall away. Bring that heel in line with your seat. And then bend the knee all the way back in front of you. Press that brick wall away and bend that knee in front of you. Keeping the foot flexed this time is just gonna allow you to engage a little bit more down the back of your body. A little bit more support for the spine. Feeling that hamstring work. If you weren't already feeling the peach, oh baby, you are now. Let's do 3. You got this, guys. My peaches know what they're doing. Send that leg out long, pause for me here. You're gonna turn your foot out so your heel taps the mat. You're gonna hover it up, turn it in so the toe taps the mat. Hover it up, heel tap, hover it up, toe tap. The internal rotation especially is very unnatural in your hip. Make sure it's coming from the thigh bone. You're gonna feel that deep pinch in the back of the glute. I promise that is correct. It's gonna feel like you're doing something wrong. We've got 3 more of these. Breathe through it, guys. I know you got this. After that last one, no breaks, hover that leg up, point that toe. You're gonna sweep that leg 2 inches back. Your hip is extending, and then right back in line with the hip. 2 inches back, right in line with the hip. So you feel your glutes squeeze each time you reach back. You're reaching that toe out long each time you reach back. Activate your center, outer and inner thigh working to keep that leg parallel to the floor. You're gonna hold it back there on this next one. Little circles, teeny tiny. I'm running into my plant back there. Lift as you circle. It's the thigh bone. Your foot is reaching as you circle. Reverse that circle. Ooh, this is a tough burn. It's our last thing on the side. We're here for 6, for 5, for 4. Last 3, last 2, last 1. Bring it all the way in. Little recovery. Little tactile feedback, give that seat a pat, no shame in that. From here, you're coming onto all fours, working the same side before we do that second side. So hands and knees here. Once you're in hands and knees, it's wrists right under the shoulders, it's knees right underneath the hips. Same leg is working. Make sure you don't switch sides. You're gonna keep that knee bent, flex that foot, and try to swing that foot all the way up towards the sky, towards the ceiling. You'll swing it right back down so that knee taps, and then swing it right back up. Exhale each time you swing it back. Try to move your low back as little as possible, so as much core engagement as possible. Feeling that same length in the front of your hip that you felt on that last exercise. Feeling that same activity in the core to keep the spine as long as possible. Tailbone head reaching in opposite directions. We're here for 4, for 3. Raise that roof with that foot. On the last one, you're holding that foot nice and high. Little pulses up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Feel that shake for 4, 3, 2. Hold it up there. Take a breath. You're going to swing that knee down. This time the knee is going to open up towards the left side. Think like a fire hydrant. Little dog, and then bring it back in. Little dog, bring it back in. Side of the seat working. There's working on the supporting side as well, so that you're not leaning all the way over just to lift your knee higher. You want to keep your weight equal over your center, over both those hands. If your foot can stay flexed, it's still flexed. We're doing 3. We're doing 2. Last one, bring that knee in, hover it. We're going to draw a circle. So your foot goes up towards the sky like it was a second ago, out towards the side like it was a second ago, and then all the way back down. You're going up, around, and down. Because your knee is bent, it's going to be deeper work in your glute, larger circle in that thigh bone, than as if your leg was straight. Ooh, this one burns. One more in this direction. Reverse that circle. You're going out, back, and down. Out, back, and down. Try to balance a teacup on your tailbone as much as you can. I know it's tough. Let's do 3 more here. Use your breath. Last one here. Set that knee down. Take a second. You're going to shoot that same leg straight back behind you. About the height of your torso. Make sure those hips are squared off towards your mat. Little lifts. Exhale, lift, lower down. Exhale, lift, lower down. Reach that toe long or pointed this time. Same length in the front of the hip we talked about earlier. Length down the leg this time like we talked about sidelining. 4 more. Just like a second ago. Little pulses after that last one. You're pulsing up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up there. You're opening that leg 2 inches to the left and back in. 2 inches to the left and back in. Try not to dump that weight over to the right as you open that leg to the left. Aiming just for the back corner of your mat. You don't have to go any further. Let's do 4, 3, 2, Circles just like before. One direction for 6. Activate that core, teacup on the tailbone. Reach long out those toes. After that 6th one, reverse. We're almost done with this side. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set that knee down. Sit back towards those heels. Big stretch. The hands can stay reaching towards the front edge of the mat, or they can slide all the way towards the back edge of the mat. You're trying to take as much tension as you possibly can out of your entire body. Take 3 humongous breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Feel that ribcage expand towards the sky. And then roll yourself on up, one bone at a time. Feel nice and vertical, nice and supported, and nice and uneven on both sides. Let's even things out. We're gonna lie on our side with the other leg on top. Woo! Coming down to that forearm when you're ready. And let's bring those knees to the front edge of your mat. Find that forearm, long diagonal line in the torso. Top hand can stay here, top hand can come here, up to you. Hover that knee, hover that ankle on your front side. Développé first, you kick it out towards the screen. Straight leg sweeps back, knee bends right in. Sweep it forward, ride that bicycle, and then bend that knee in. Now, because this side already worked to support you on that first moving side, it's going to get a lot tired, a lot more tired, a lot quicker here. So really activate your center as you reach that leg long. Find that space as the leg comes in line with your hip, and then bend it in. Use the front of the hip to get that leg back in. So front of the hip, back of the hip, side of the hip. There's work all over here. Keep the length in your torso. It's really easy for that top side to start to crunch together. I know mine just was. So keep as much length as you can. Let's do 3 more. I know you have it in you. And then after that last one, keep that knee hovering. Connect those feet, little clams. 1 inch higher, all the way closed. 1 inch higher, all the way closed. One side might be different than the other. Your hips are usually different in their flexibility. So not only that muscle strength to open the knee, but the flexibility that your hip bone, literally your skeleton, how you were born, how you were made, will not allow one knee to lift higher than the other. So just engage, be okay with whatever works for your body. We're here for 4, for 3, nice long neck. Hold that knee up there, last one. You're gonna hover that ankle in line with your knee and flex your foot. We're pressing a brick wall all the way away and then pulling that knee back in. Press that brick wall all the way away. Pull that knee in. It feels really nice to flex that foot after that clam work here. Make sure your knee and toe are staying parallel. They might be trying to turn out already. You already know we're going there next, so make sure you're maintaining your parallel to start. If you want to lift those bottom obliques up, give them some more support to activate that form. You can do so. Let's do 3. Let's do 2. Last one, you're holding that leg long. You already know where we're going. Tapping that heel down. Hover, tap that toe. Tap that heel. Hover, tap that toe. You're going from external to internal rotation. Now, it's not just your ankle turning in and out. It's your whole leg turning in and out. So you're thinking about your thigh bone, drawing that little rainbow shape. Once you do that, you're like, oh, that's where I should be feeling it. Let's do 3. 2. Last one. Hover that leg, point that toe, no breaks, little pulses all the way back, in line with the hip. All the way back, in line with the hip. Exhale each time, feel that glute squeeze. If it's not naturally squeezing, tell it to on the way back as you find length in the front of your hip. Reaching that toe as long as you possibly can. Keep that core engaged, no movement in the low back, no movement in the upper body. So notice my top shoulder is not diving forward. On the next one, let's hold it back. Little circles, little circles. Reach, reach. That front leg is supporting you. There's work there as well. You feel that pinch in the side of your seat. Working all the way around. You want that nice firm peach. Reverse that circle. One direction may feel more natural than the other. Nothing wrong with that. Activate, activate. We're here for 4, 3, 2, last one. Bend that knee in. Little pat. Relax that neck. And then let's come up onto hands and knees from here. Wrists right under those shoulders. Knees right under those hips. Find that length in the back body, tailbone, crown of the head, reaching for opposite directions. Now, that side I just worked, in this case it's my right leg, I'm going to flex that foot. Imagine that you're trying to press the ceiling away as you pull your belly button away from gravity in towards your spine. So make sure that low back doesn't change, and then tap that knee down. Low back doesn't change, tap that knee down. If you can keep the knee hovering, do so. Don't let it tap the mat. Just like we talked about with our seat in that bridge work earlier. I know you're like, oh, I forgot we even did that bridge work earlier. This side lie, this all fours is so intense. It really, really strengthens you in an amazing way. Exhale on the way up is going to help you keep the engagement in your center and send the work to your seat. Next time your leg's up, we're going to hold it up. Little pulses up for 10, 9. It's not fast. It's slow. It's controlled. It's engaged for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up there. Take a breath. Come all the way down. You're opening up towards the right. Little fire hydrant. Exhale, open. Inhale, close. Exhale, open. Inhale, close. This is kind of like your clam, where you're opening up towards the side of the seat is working, but your obliques are working a little bit more in this one than they were in clam. I'm sure you can kind of feel that side body crunch. Let's do 3. Let's do 2. Pause on 1, getting ready for circles. You're going down, up, around, and back down. Big circles with that thigh bone in your hip. Keeping your knee bent. Can you relax your neck? More engagement, shoulders down the back. Try to prevent yourself from dumping into that left thigh. I know it's tough. Can you reverse the direction of that circle? You're opening out, up, down, and back around. Try to balance that teacup on that tailbone. You've got this. Engage your center. Feel that power. Let's do 3. Let's do 2. Give that leg a break after that last one. And then when you're ready, shoot it out long behind you. You know we're almost done with this all fours work. We're heading down to prone after this, and then we're all done with class for the day. You're going to lift up and tap the toe. Lift up and tap the toe. Goal is no movement in the low back. More challenging now that your leg is straight. Reach out those pointed toes this time. More engagement in your center. Stay heavy under both hands. Next time you're up, we're going to hold it up. Pulses there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it up, open 2 inches to the right, and back in. 2 inches to the right, and back in. You're turning on your outer thigh on that right side, if you didn't notice what was working here. Outer thigh on that right side, inner thigh to come back in. Engagement in both directions, moving through a body of water. From here, can you turn it into a little circle? Circle in one direction for 6, 5, teacup on your tailbone. After those 6, reverse that circle. Reach, reach, reach. We're here for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and And one, bend that knee all the way in, sit all the way back towards those heels. Take a breath. And then you're gonna come all the way forward to lie down on your belly. Your hands are just underneath your shoulders here to start. Feel as long as you possibly can. Crown of the head, toes reaching in opposite directions. All you're gonna do is try to hover those legs up an inch and down an inch. Up an inch and down an inch. Belly button to spine, pubic bone is heavy. You've got 3. You've got 2. Hold them up on 1. Your hands are gonna glue to your forehead, and you're gonna set that forehead all the way down on top of those hands, and then set those legs all the way down. Take a breath. From here, can you open your legs up about the same distance as the mat, so like a little V. You're gonna keep your knees where they are, but your feet are gonna start to lift. Because your knees are out towards the side, your feet are gonna kind of glue together like they're saying a little prayer. So feet together, knees apart, little diamond. Activate your core. You're gonna hover those knees up an inch, keep the feet together, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch. So these are your frogs in the opposite direction. Really squeeze those glutes as those thighs hover. Try to hover that whole thigh, not just your knee. Press down harder with the pubic bone, the hips, and lift the belly button, lift the low back. We're gonna do 6, 5, 4. Ooh, these are tough. Small but mighty. Last one, hold those legs up there. You're gonna unfold those legs so you're in that V, open wide but lifted. And then little kicks, right and left. Swimming, swimming, swimming. Keep those hips steady, that core active. We're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax it all the way down. Bring those hands back underneath your shoulders and press that chest up. Find a nice big swan stretch. From here, open up your heart, shoulders down the back. Activate those abdominals. Look over your left shoulder. Look over your right shoulder. Look back to center. Start to drop, start with your belly button. One bone at a time. From here, once you get to the bottom, you're gonna tuck your toes under. We're gonna press straight up into a plank. Activate your entire body as you press up. Send your heels and head in opposite directions. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze those glutes. Keep your toes how they are. Start to drop the hips. Open up your chest. Can you keep those thighs hovering as you come into a swan? Look over your left shoulder. Look over your right shoulder. Look back to center. Hover back up to that plank. Left foot's gonna step forward between the hands. You're in a nice big runner's lunge here. Feel as much length in the front of that right hip as you can. Think about your heart towards the front edge of the mat. From here, you're gonna drop that right knee, straighten that left leg, sit back towards that right heel, send your forehead towards that left knee. 2 breaths here. Active recovery, active cool down, active stretch. Come all the way back forward to that lunge. Hover that right knee up. Step that left foot back, same thing on the other side. Right foot steps forward. Find the space in the front of your hips, send your heart forward. Drop that left knee, straighten that right leg as you sit back. Send your forehead towards that right knee. Take 3 big breaths. From here, you're gonna come all the way forward back into that lunge. Prop that left knee up. Come all the way back into your plank. Take 2 breaths. And then pike those hips up high towards the sky. Send those heels down to the earth. Chest down to the thighs. And pedal out those knees. Find that stretch. Relax the neck. Slow down the heart rate. Slow down the breath. And then once you're ready, you can carefully set both knees down, sit back on those heels, and roll all the way up to sit on those heels. We are all done today. Fabulous work. Maybe you want to take another stretch video, another stretch workout after this one. Absolutely, be my guest. There is nothing wrong with taking more time for yourself today. I hope you feel amazing after that. I for sure broke a sweat. I hope you did too. Feeling nice and amazing after that one. I'll see you next time on the mat.